Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, my name is Fatin Umaira binti Muhamad Azian, and I'm a PhD student from USM. And today, for Progress 2021, I would like to share with you guys regarding my research. One of the objective in my PhD research is about the mediating effects of management services on housing performance and residential satisfaction relationships. So these studies would like to know that management services as mediator, how does this mediator can affect the relationships between IV and DV. IV is housing performance and the DV is residential satisfactions. Okay, this is the details of the author of these articles. Okay, for the research background, high-rise residentials differ from the other various forms of properties. How this is differ from other properties? Because these types of housing units is more like developed on one particular lots on the buildings, so difference is differentiate between the high-rise and also the landed properties. The uniqueness of these types of properties is because when these properties is already occupied by the residents, it has a needed to form a management in managing the housings area, because this property management, the management is responsible for the commons areas within the housings, and also regarding about the maintenance funds, service charge, sinking fund, to run the operations based on Strata Management Act 2013. Okay, for the problem statements from the previous study, there are positive impact and also the negative impact of management services in influencing housing performance and also residential satisfactions. From the positive impact, RF 2018 stated that house owner in low-cost housings in Klang Valley satisfied with their doing living units and also the management relationship with the managements. And other than that, Musa et al. 2020 stated that management services give a good reputations on one of their studies by the residents, reputation by the residents in medium cost housings buildings in Klang Valley's high-rise residential buildings. From the negative impact, Sheani et al. 2009 stated that most of the residential high-rise buildings were not effectively managed by their management. And also, Azali 2020 stated that the staff appointed by the management cooperation and also the management community give their contribution as voluntary works without knowing the specific objective of the aims in managing the properties. And additionally, Sufyan 2013 stated that most of the management services in managing of giving their service in repairing costs and utility charges is ineffectively. Okay, so the above contradictory findings imply that management services have a heterogeneous impact on the relationship between housing performance factor and residential satisfaction, highlighting the importance of considering another alternative explanation of management services roles in facilitating housing performance. So from the research objective, this research is to examine the mediating roles of management services on the relationship between housing performance factors and residential satisfactions. From this objective, there are three hypotheses. The first one is housing comfort. The second one is regarding housing function, and also the third hypothesis is housing neighborhood. Okay, this is for conceptual framework for these studies. From this framework, we can see that there are three housing performance factors: housing comfort, housing function, and also housing neighborhood. And management services react as mediator, and the DV is residential satisfaction. So there are three hypotheses. The first one is housing comfort mediated by management services to DV, residential satisfaction. The second hypothesis is housing comfort mediated through management services, and the DV is residential satisfaction. And the housing neighborhood, the hypothesis 3, so HN through MS through residential satisfaction as DV. Okay, for the research methodologies, the sampling location is a medium cost high-rise residential buildings surrounding Shah Alam, Johor Bahru, and Penang Island. And the sampling size is 434 samples. The minimum samples required is only 279 based on inverse square root method proposed by Koh and Hadaya 2018, and the sampling technique is stratified random sampling, and the sampling instrument is using questionnaire surveys. Face-to-face distribution is better than online distributions, and the sampling analysis is using partial less square SAMs using RAP-PLS software. There are three steps to analyze the result. The first one is measurement model analysis. The second one is structural model analysis, and the third one is mediation analysis. Okay, this is the results for respondent profile. From the results, it stated that males, gender males is 214, balance between males and females, and the age is between, most of the respondents is between 31 and 40 years old, and the number of households more covered on 3 to 4 peoples. For housing income, most of the respondents in between of 3,001 until 4,000 and 4,001 until 5,000 ringgit. And the types of ownership is balanced between this. Owner is 233 and the tenants is 201, and most of the resident is stayed at the medium cost housing is 1 until 5 years first years residence range of residency. Okay, for the PLS SAM using RAP-PLS software, there are 3 steps. The first one is step 1, measurement model analysis, reflective. This one is reflective. There are 3 assessments. The first one is internal consistency. Second one is convergent validity, and the third one is discriminant validity. From this test, there are 3, all the assessment is accomplished before we can proceed to the structural model analysis. For the internal consistency, the test is usually regarding Conrad alpha, composite reliability, and also the Rensselaer. So all the assessment need to be more than 0.7. And for discriminant validity, for this research, we use the HTMT, which need to lower than 0.9. The result is need to lower 0.9. So all the assessment is accomplished, meet the threshold. So then we can proceed to the structural model analysis. For the second step, which is the structural model analysis, there are some assessment, includes level of R square, effect size, and also the predictive relevance. From the analysis, all the assessment is achieved all the threshold. Effect size need to more than 0. There are three types: is small, mediums, and also large, whichever is related. So all the assessment, all the result is achieve all the threshold. Okay, for the step 3, which is mediation analysis, this analysis using the bootstrap test, and there are several items need to be identified, which are path coefficients, standard error, p-value, t-value, effect size, and confidence interval. Okay, from the result, it's mentioned that only hypothesis 2, which is housing function, is meet the threshold with a p-value less than 0.005, with path coefficient, positive path coefficients, and others assessment. Okay, to identify types of mediation, either there is full mediation or partial mediations. From the result, this stated that p-value is more, need to be less than 0.05, and this type of mediation is partial mediation since the direct effect of HM on RS is significant. The direct effect is from HF, housing function, to RS, IV to DV, and the indirect also significant. So if the direct and indirect is significant, in this case, this is called as partial mediations because of existing this both effect of lines relationship is significant. So the result is partial mediations. Okay, from the results, it signify that management services is important as mediator. This study finding confirmed by OMA et al. 2015 stated that maintenance is most common types of service provided by residential property management, because in HF, housing function, there is an item of maintenance. Besides, this finding indicates that both variables, management services and housing functions, play a crucial role in influencing residential satisfaction with partial mediation results, and housing function consists of dwelling units, securities, fire safeties, building services, and supporting building facilities. Needs housing management to control and manage this element, and this successful property management or housing management cannot be successfully good or excellent if there is no mutual support from residents. Therefore, the mutual support from management and resident is crucial in maintaining of or make a house in excellent condition. Okay, for the conclusions, this finding is contribute to theoretical insight to the body of existing knowledge to know the effect of management services in this relationship between housing performance and residential satisfaction, and also prove the ideas expressed by previous researcher that housing management as a mediator, and also provide statistical support regarding the management services known as the partial mediator in the housing performance and residential satisfaction relationships, and also give some insight, new update information to KPKT 3 of Housing and Local Government regarding the housing performance in medium cost housings. So for the suggestion for the future studies, these studies can be used to other similar cities in testing the research model, and also to understand more about a medium cost housing situation in the country, especially for high-rise residential buildings. Okay, thank you.